right, 8:13, welcome back. So we all know Texas is often ground zero for severe weather, but researchers at Texas A&M are using artificial intelligence to help predict danger zones faster. Joining me now is Dr. Ali Mostafavi, who leads the Urban Resilience AI Lab. Thank you so much for joining me here. So, right now within the weather forecasting community, AI modeling is the topic of conversation, and how we can better use products, how we can better feature AI. And you have your own model. So how is your model different from the traditional forecasting tools, let's say, I'd normally use?
Good morning, Chita, and thanks for having me. The AI tools we create and we research on are intended to complement the existing traditional weather forecasting tools. So essentially what we want to do is to take for example, rainfall predictions or hurricane prediction model outcomes, and then anticipate which areas, which neighborhoods can be impacted so that we can take actions more proactively and anticipate the impacts earlier, maybe 24, 48 hours before tragedies happen, and being able to take actions such as issuing evacuation orders or anticipating what resources will be needed. So essentially taking the weather prediction outcomes and make impact-based assessment of what would be the consequences of the hazard event.
Yeah, of course. And the whole point of that is to save lives. And that's why we're trying to do so much, in this research. So what is the biggest challenge in getting these AI flood predictions accurate enough to use in real time? Because oftentimes you and I both know that's what's needed, that real-time forecasting.
Yes, there are two main challenges. One is, these AI models are built based on data. So we need more and better data. What type of data? We need more sensors, more flood sensors, more rainfall sensors, so that we can have better, assessment of what's going on in real time. And the second challenge is the use of these AI models in operational settings. The more we use them in operational settings, the models get better and better. With more data and more use cases, we will improve the models. So the two challenges we need to overcome is to use them more and also have better data sets by deploying better and more sensors.
It's incredible to hear you talk about this, because it's almost moving so fast for us to even really wrap our heads around, for us to fully comprehend this. But now you tested your AI tools during this hurricane season and during the 4th of July Hill Country flood. So what did you learn during that process?
What we learned was how reliable these AI models could be in anticipating the impacts. When we tested our model for the July 4th flood event in Kerr County, we were pleasantly surprised to see the AI model was able to identify the areas of high impact, and in fact, anticipating that the areas where Camp Mystic was located could be a high hazard and high impact zone 24 hours ahead of time, just based on the weather predictions that fed into our model. And this is very promising. If we can deploy models like this in operational settings, we can save many, many lives in future events.
So interesting. So let's get back to that emergency thought. So you're developing what you call a companion AI for emergency operations. So how would that work during, let's say, a hurricane or another flood event?
Yes, this is one of the work that we are very excited about. So Disaster AI Companion, think of it as a ChatGPT, but specialized in disaster knowledge and localized disaster data. So let's say for Harris County, it has access to all the data sets from Harris County flood control districts. It has access to weather prediction data from National Weather Service. It has access to all the past disaster information. And when a new hazard event, new storm happens, it can quickly retrieve it at the speed that no human can does, and analyze and synthesize this data to provide actionable insights. And that could complement human decision-making at the time of disasters that we all know that it's a short short window, many information sources are coming, and human ability to synthesize the amount of information is limited. So the reason we call it a companion is that it can be a companion of disaster managers, emergency management organizations to better synthesize data and make more informed decisions.
You know, and that's what it all is all about. I mean, it's making those decisions, acting upon those, and of course, spreading the word. Okay, so what else is your lab working on?
We are working on a suite of tools for disaster management using AI. So when we refer to AI, we are not just talking about generative models and chatbots like large language models. We also talk about predictive analytics models, computer vision-based models. So we are creating a suite of tools for risk prediction, for situational awareness, for post-disaster damage assessment, and for recovery monitoring. So what we anticipate is that AI can be the next frontier for helping communities to be more resilient. And as you mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, you know, Texas is considered to be a ground zero of disasters and hazards. And what we are striving to make it also a ground zero of solutions for especially AI technologies.
I know this is moving so quickly. Just in the next 2 to 5 years, I can't wait to see where all these products and all of these modeling products are going. I mean, this is just, it's really interesting discussions. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Dr. Mostafavi, Director of the Institute for Disaster Resilient Texas. Thanks for joining us this morning. Yeah. So Jacob, Alona, you know, isn't this always so interesting to hear? It's just the future thinking of how better we can forecast, because we all know the earlier you can get that forecast, looking at even historical data and kind of crunching those numbers, like he said, way faster than any human could ever do, it saves lives. And that's the point.